Today's video is going to introduce you to a new concept called coordinate planes. Coordinate planes might look scary at first, but really they are very, very simple. Tonight we're just going to learn how to read a coordinate plane and how to understand different coordinates on a grid. Alright, so this is a coordinate plane. We have some features of the coordinate plane which are very, very important. Now we can tell that this coordinate plane kind of looks like a grid. It looks like grid paper, like you would use to do something fancy in math. So it has the little squares on it. Now you might notice that there are numbers going up both of the sides, up the top and across the side. These sides right here and here are called an axis. Make sure you write this down. This is important. The axis are the sides on the coordinate plane. The axis or axes are labeled by two different letters. We have the x-axis, so everything going this way and this way is the x-axis. And the one on this side, that wasn't a very good y, is the y-axis. So everything this way and this way is the y-axis. So just like we said, the y-axis and the x-axis, these are the horizontal and vertical lines. Horizontal is going this way. This is horizontal. Vertical is up and down. The way that you can try to remember this is that the horizon, where the sun sets, it goes across the land, and then vertical is up and down. So maybe if you have like vertical blinds in your house, you would see that they go up and down. Another really important thing to remember is the origin. The point 0, 0 is the origin on the coordinate plane. So the point where the x-axis and the y-axis meet is 0, 0, which is right here. This is called the origin. Okay, these are really important words, so please make sure that you have this in your notebook. Okay, how to read coordinate planes. So I have some different items here that are located on this plane. And so when we have a set of coordinates, it kind of looks like this. So we have two numbers that are within parentheses. So I'm just going to say 2 and 1. And the two numbers are separated by a comma. This is called a set of numbers or a set of coordinates. This is what you use to navigate yourself on the coordinate plane. So our rule of thumb, the way we always read this using coordinates, is that the first number is the x-axis and the second number is the y-axis. And remember, it's also labeled here on the grid. This is x, this is y. X goes across, y goes up. So if I'm thinking about this, and I have this coordinate 2, 1, if 2 is the x, that means I'm going to start here at the origin. I'm going to start at start where it's 0, 0. And 2 is x, so I'm going to go over 2 spots. Ready? 1, 2. Okay, so I'm right here on the 2. Now my y-axis is 1, so that means I'm going to move 1 space. I'm going to go up 1. Boop. So the number, or the coordinate 2, 1 would be located right here. A really good way to remember this is actually something that Miss Ryan taught me the other day. She told me that, think about when you're on an elevator. You have to walk into the elevator before you can ride the elevator up and down. So that means you have to go into the elevator, you have to walk across, before you can start to go up the elevator. So you have to know in first, then up. So I have some shapes on here. We're going to try to figure out what the coordinates are of these shapes. So we're going to start here with, the x. So this x right here. We're going to figure out what the coordinate is. So first of all, remember we have to start with the x-axis. You have to walk into the elevator before you can go up. So that means I'm going to start at 0 here. You always start at the origin. And I'm going to count how many spaces I have to go over to get to the x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You also could have just easily noticed that the x was right above the 8. So that means that my first number in my coordinate set is 8. That's where it is on the x-axis. Now I have to look to see where it is on the y-axis, so going up and down. How many spots is it up? So if I'm here at the 8 on the x-axis, I go up 1 spot, and I found the x. So my coordinate for the x would be 8, 1. Really not that bad. Once you know how to use it, it's super easy to read. Let's do the music note here. Alright, so I gotta find my coordinates for the music note. How many spaces do I need to go over on the x-axis to find the music note? So I'm starting at the origin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The music note is on the 5 on the x-axis. And then how many spaces up do I need to go to find it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's on the 8 on the y-axis. So the music note is at the coordinates 5, 8. Okay, so pause the video, and I want you to figure out where the lightning bolt is. What is the coordinate for the lightning bolt? Replay the video to check your answer. Okay, hopefully you pause the video. This lightning bolt, you go across the x-axis, you would land up on 10, so the coordinate would start out with 10, and then it goes up to the 4 on the y-axis, so the coordinates for the lightning bolt would be 10, 4. Alright, let's try this one. I would like you to tell me what the coordinates are for the letters G and H. Okay, so you're going to tell me G and H. Go ahead and pause the video and figure those ones out. Alright, hopefully you pause the video. Let's start with G. How many spots do I have to go over on the x-axis before I can go up on the y to find G? Well, I know that I can start at the 0. I go 1, 2. G is on the 2, where the y is. And I go up 1, 2, 3. It is on the 3 on the y-axis. Pretty easy. Looking at the H is on the 4 for the x-axis. Remember, I have to walk into the elevator before I can go up. And it is on the 8 on the y-axis. Alright, so one thing that I'm noticing here that we didn't do in the last one, let's try to find what the coordinate for F would be. Now, remember, you have to walk into the elevator before you go up. I'm looking here, starting at 0, do I have to move anywhere to get in the elevator in order to get to F? I don't have to move. I'm already there. So that means that the y-axis in this coordinate set would be 0, because I don't have to move anywhere further to get to x. It's already on the x-axis right here. Now I do have to move up 1 to get to F, so my y-axis would be 1. So this letter F is at 0, 1. The same thing applies for the letter C. Now, I'm starting at 0 here. How many spaces do I need to go over to get to C? I need to go over 1 space. But do I need to go up any spaces to get to C? No, I don't. I'm already there, so that means I don't need to go up the elevator. So that means that my y-axis would be 0. Alright, so let's try this again. This time, I want you to pause the video and figure out what the coordinates would be for each of the shapes on this coordinate plane. So you're going to find the X, the circle, the square, the star, the triangle, and the heart. Okay, find me the coordinates for each of these items. Alright, hopefully you paused the video. Here is the correct set of coordinates for all of the shapes here. The heart would be at the coordinates 8, 0. The X would be at the coordinates 5, 9. The circle would be at 9, 8. Square at 8, 2. Star at 9, 3. And triangle at 0, 2. Alright, it is time to review your notes and make sure that you understand the lesson. Go to Canvas and take your quiz, and good luck!